Hi folks, I'm sorry I'm not going to be with you in Sedona. I would really love to be. I think you're all amazing and it's a far better place to be than stuck here now. But this is where I am, and sending you all my love and best wishes for what I'm sure are going to be amazing talks. So here's mine. I'm going to start with, I just want to apologise. This isn't, as you can already see, it isn't a slick PowerPoint presentation. It's me, and I'm going to have some drawings that I've done which you will quickly see are naive at best, but hopefully they tell the story for me. Yeah, I shall start with the first one. I'm going to start with the structure of the atom, which you'll be familiar with from science lessons at school, I suspect. This is the atom, this is the nucleus, this is the only bit of matter in this atom. I've heard it said that if you were to scale the nucleus up to the size of a golf ball, the atom would be 1.5 miles across, about 2.5 kilometres, huge, 99.99% space. Pretty wild, considering that it's all we're made of. So you and I are mostly space. The walls of the house that I'm in are mostly space. The planet that I'm standing on is mostly space. And if you carry that out to the edges of the universe, there's not a lot of this stuff, not a lot of matter anywhere. It's quite a mind-blowing if you really think about it. I actually believe this is a balanced energy in here, not space. I refer to it as light or energy. I also believe that if you were to take a spiritual point of view or a heart-centered point of view, you would describe this as love. If you were looking, if you're a religious person and you're looking for God, you could do a lot worse than look in here. This is the life force that holds everything together and holds everything apart. It is everything. We are made of light, if you take this argument, with tiny specks of matter. This is the structure of the universe. We are, if you take to the edge of the galaxy, the edge of the universe, above you, below you, to the left, to the right, in front and behind, it's a field of light. It has organising structure and organising principles, but essentially it's trillions of these, and trillions of these have virtually no matter. So it makes you wonder, when you step on the bathroom scales, how you weigh anything at all. But yeah, that's one for another day. Yeah, you could be the most evil person in the world and you've still got God, love, light in every atom of your being. In fact, I don't subscribe to evil. You know, people do stupid stuff, but there's God in every cell, God in every atom. So I've also heard, have I done that yet? No. If you shrink the, if you were to take the space out, if you could possibly do that, of every human being, on the planet. That's 7.5 billion people. If you take the space out of all of their atoms, you would end up with a cube of matter the size of a sugar cube for the whole of humanity. That's how little matter there is. I have heard it described as 3 foot cubed. I've heard it as a sugar cube. Either way, it's a very, very small amount for an awful lot of people. That's not a lot of matter. And we think of ourselves as physical, solid. We're not. We're made up of this, with a little bit of this, a tiny bit of this. So that kind of blows your mind. You're not a physical body, you're a light body, but you have form. You're solid. How does that work? Well, I can describe that. That's there's an energetic organising principle that gives you form, and it's essentially based in consciousness, if you want to put it that way. Anyhow, moving on. This is like the most naive part. This is how the Western civilization views the human being. This is obviously a representation of your physical body, biology, skin, eyes, mouth, brain, heart, lungs, bones, the lot. It's actually less than 10% of your whole being, considerably less, I should say. But this is how we have lived and what we have believed in. But I'm going to hopefully introduce you to the rest of you, so there's quite a bit more. So here we go. So now this is what would be described as your macabre, or your energy body. I'd like you not to focus too much on the shape. This is a circle. It's meant to represent a sphere in 3D. But if you look up Merkaba online, you will find that definite descriptions of shape that aren't like this. I actually think this form is malleable and morphs to a certain degree, but please imply the 3D-ness of it. 20 feet from you to the edge of your Merkaba. This is all your energy in here, so you are a being that's 40 feet wide, 40 feet tall, and you have a physical body inside of that. Your body is actually gets information from this sphere, this energy sphere. This is the science or medicine would have, it's the brain that operates the body. It actually comes from in here. The brain is deciphers it and turns it into action. But there's the life that is your biology emanates from out here inwards. This is the chakra system. It's a very real thing. It's classically described as 7 chakras. I have heard up to 12. I've put the 7 in, and I've put in one that I know is there, which I feel, which is a soul star chakra, which is maybe not even in 3D above you. It's a portal to the other side of the veil, and it's through which intuition and what have you comes into your body. Not only do you have these chakra systems, anecdotally I've seen someone's heart chakra once. It's the only time, and it was definitely green, and it was definitely there, and it wasn't a construct of the mind. So anecdotally I'd stand by that actually being real. These people that drew this up weren't daft. They weren't making stuff up for the sake of it. This is stuff that they've observed and is a real energetic structure within your energy field. I will also add to that my man. He's seen better days. He's got a bit of sunburn from being on the windowsill, but he's obviously demonstrating the meridian system from the Chinese medicine. This is also a real energetic structure. It's not one or the other. It's not chakras or energy meridians. It's both, and both of them have connections to this energy sphere. If you want to prove meridians, I can give you an anecdotal proof. If you take your hand, let me just see, get the orientation right. If you place your thumb in between the web of your thumb and your finger and push in quite hard, you will find in there, should find in there a sensitive place. That's an acupressure point, and it usually hurts a little bit. It's actually good for headaches, and there's a number of other ones. These are actual energetic pathways within your body. They sit below the skin, but I believe they trail out into your energy sphere as well. Also your other energy structures. You hear of halos in early history, and you may even see them in paintings. These aren't delusional people. These are people that have seen these energy structures in other human beings and illustrated them. I also believe that the origin of the crown, the actual physical crown that you placed on people's heads, was a representation of the crown chakra, and it was usually given to people of importance whose crown chakras were visible and open. That was the first use of it, and it's then been morphed into being on the heads of important people, or people that are important have crowns, however you want to say it. But yeah, originally I believe it would have denoted someone of spiritual ability, divine ability, who had an activated crown chakra. And it may well even, if you take the materials of gold or silver or platinum that they're often made out of, it may well actually facilitate the function of the crown chakra. So there's all of these structures, energetic structures, all exist within your energy sphere. This is a much bigger vision of the human being, and I would stand by that this is actual truth. The details may change slightly. Different people may see it differently. Different people may feel it differently. But I know from first-hand experience that I feel my energy sphere. I know that I can feel the plant, all living organisms have an energy sphere. So, excuse me, our energy spheres are interacting at the moment at a subconscious level. I'm not talking to plants, but you get what I mean. So, any more from that? This is just still within the remit of the human being. I haven't even got really onto God or the universe at large, but this is your energetic structure. This is what gives you life. This is what governs the body as well, through systems like the chakra system and through the meridian system as well. Right, next image. you think of yourself as one being, we all generally do, but this is you. This is your physical body now. This is my physical body now. However you want to see it, this is one individual. This was. I'm obviously speaking about reincarnation. You're born into a physical body, you die, you're born back into another physical body, you die, etc., etc., and you carry that throughout time. So you've been here since, if you're an old soul, you've been here since the beginning of civilization. Sorry, that's up there. So this was your first incarnation, if you like. And I've put it in a linear form of about 200 lifetimes, in that you go across like that and then across like that. It's just simply for demonstration purposes. I've also, if you notice, put a few lifetimes after as well, because this obviously continues. The thing that really blows the mind and is difficult to get a handle on is that all of this is happening now. Obviously you would say, and the mind will say, that the biology has long since passed on all of these, and that's the truth, but the energy, your soul, your higher self was present in all of these lifetimes. The consciousness of the planet was very different in each of these lifetimes probably, but your soul was there, and this is you, and you have this experience to draw upon. So you know, you can pick one lifetime and all you can do in one lifetime, or you can pick I've done 200 lifetimes. People will be more or less than this, likely. Doesn't really matter. Yeah, it's just for illustration purposes. Yeah, each of these people that were you would have had a chakra system, would have had a meridian system, would have had a Merkaba, and you come and you go and you come and you go in a relatively linear fashion. You may go off and do other stuff, but generally we're here on planet Earth and we're trying to sort this thing out, and this is what you do. This is also my Peace on Earth map. The reason being, you can, if you're Christian here, you are probably Muslim back here. If you are left-wing here, politics, you are right-wing politics over here. If you were black here, you were probably white here, and vice versa. If you are straight here, you were probably gay at some point. You were also male here and female here. There's 200 lifetimes there. I happen to believe that I have a balanced gender, so 50% of my lifetimes were female. So there's no logical reason for judgment of any type or discrimination of any type, because you have been good here and bad here, you have been holy here and you've been evil here. You've done, particularly if you're an old soul, which may be more than 200 lifetimes, you've done pretty much everything that's within the human experience. The things that may trouble you in this lifetime are things that you've come to finish off, but essentially you've covered all the bases. So it's very difficult logically to make an argument for discrimination based on religion, gender, sexual preference, any other race, religion, anything. It's all covered within your own personal history. So it's not your personal history of the body that you're in now, but it's the personal history of your soul. That's essentially what this is here to show. Yeah. So moving on. You would imagine that in a linear form that all of those Merkabas and people are in a linear line from ancient history back to now. They're actually energetically, they're all now. So this probably doesn't represent the structure, but it's just to infer that each one of these lines is a Merkaba of one of the individuals there. I've only drawn 5 individuals, but all of this is within your energetic system. So all of those lifetimes that your mind would say linearly are behind you are all energetically, they're all now. So you can, through your energy field, you can tap into skills you've had. The proof that, or evidence I will offer for that is you get 3 or 4-year-old prodigies that can paint like Picasso or play the piano like a master. This is not possible to learn that skill in that short period of time. They're actually just bringing forward energy from a previous lifetime. That's the evidence. The other evidence I'd offer is multiple personality disorder. It's not actually an illness, it's the barriers between this life and previous lives has broken down in a way that it doesn't for most people, and so they get the crazy man that they were centuries ago come through, or the artist, or whatever, usually probably the stronger personalities that they were, will come through. And that's not that they're still alive, but energetically that essence is within their field, and so that can come through. That's, yeah, it's not it is a disorder, but it's not an illness. Yeah, so that would be that. Moving on again. Now I've going back to the 200 guys in a row, or girls. I've just drawn a few of them. This is the first one. This is before we separated from God, so you will see here it's larger because we were fully enabled then, we were fully connected. I've just done these arrows, it's far more complex and beautiful and amazing than that, but just to illustrate there that this is connected to everything. This is abilities that the only way I vouch for this is that I can feel the essence of this in my own Merkaba, in my own system. This is travelling from one end of the universe to the other in the click of a fingers. This is shaping continents. This is choosing any form you like. Winged horses. This is the stuff of legend. This is fully connected to God. This is paradise. This is ultimate bliss and joy and connectedness. And yeah, I don't even know really how to describe it fully. It's beyond description, but this was how we were, and we maybe even had many lifetimes like this before we decided here, way back in the mists of time, we decided to play with separation, which was to essentially to see what it was like to not know God, and to see if we would, what decisions we would make based on that. Now, the first thing that happens, we're great creator beings. We can create anything that we wanted back then. We were fully connected to God, so it was easy for us to create a separation. So we created the separation, and it terrified us. We gave an awful lot of our energy to raw fear. I've put it up here as a black cloud. This is the start of the veil. It's the start of the mind, and it's the start of fear. Before this, there was no fear, there's no duality, there's no anger. All of the things that trouble humanity today didn't exist. It was all, there was no duality. It was all love, all light, all joy, all bliss. Anyhow, we first created fear. This actually represents a hole in our energy. We give our energy away to fear. We then moved on, and blame came into it, and we created anger. So the anger at the decision to separate. So we created fear, we created anger, and we created guilt, because the anger led to actions to feel guilty about. And that is the start of these three energies in humanity. That's the start of duality. It's also the start of written history and of the mind. This was the beginning. I've only put, I obviously couldn't fit 200 on here, so I've just put in, after that you get, it compounds, and the other duality issues that we have all stem from this original scenario. Pardon me. And every time we lose energy, when we incarnate into physical biology again, the energy that supports the biology is less. The biology works less well, and so it comes down to where I've put the blue line as today. You might say that here was where we had lifespans of 40 or 50 years. Some parts of the world still have that. This is where the energy is diminished and the biology works, but it doesn't offer us. Here you could live almost indefinitely. This is a light body, as I've already said. We're made of light, not matter. But this is, you could infinitely prolong your life at this state. It's creative abilities. So down here we get to the point not so long ago where we have lifespans of 40 or 50 years or thereabouts. And the human body and the human being is capable of so much more. The good news is this is paradise. The good news is we are starting to return back to that. It's not necessarily the path that everyone would want to take, because it takes some doing, but you can bring light to this duality energy and restore it to how it was, and gradually bring yourself back towards where we were many moons ago. I'll just represent that with this diagram. This is essentially what happens to you as a human being during a regular human life, as it were. You have duality incidents. Say, say someone throws a lot of hate at you and you take it on board. Personally, you give your energy away to it and you create a hole, a dullness. That's what these represent. And again, this is builds up the mind, the collective mind that humanity suffers under, war and I don't know, exploitation. You know, all the maladies of humanity are created out of this. Essentially, it's all just energy. It's just been misplaced or lost, and you can restore it and restore your energy field back to light. In a if we go back a generation, these start building up over your lifetime, and you keep building up more and more and more and more and more and more and more until it no longer supports your biology ages, and that's the end of your life, and then you come in and do it again. But it is possible to reverse this, and anecdotally I'll give you an example of people that are full of the joys of life and haven't had or done much of the duality side of things. They tend to live longer, happier lives. Yeah, and this is all possible to restore in the human being. Now, just quickly, I understand I'm running over quite a lot. You've all seen this sign. This is your balanced life, your light and your darkness. Now, it provides a very good balance, this as a system, and I'm not knocking it in the slightest, but I do believe that you can take away the duality, the shade, and if you do that, you then become connected to everything. You have God inside you and outside of you, and you're one with everything. This takes a lot of doing, I suspect, for most of us. This is what Elijah did, and he could have chose to hang around, but because it's a matter of will or choice, but he essentially turned into light and vanished from the field of duality that we all live in. Just one last thing. Every video has a light bulb moment. It's it's very poor. This is, if you consider the element of the bulb is the human body. The glass is the merkaba, or the edge of the energy field, and the gas or the air in between is the energy, and the light that it emits is the light of your life and your essence. That may be a way to think or to feel about yourself as a human being. You're far grander. I haven't even really touched on the magic and the love. I've just really done the dynamics, just as to get a toe into the mechanics of the universe. It is infinite in possibility. There is any number of possibilities under the sun and beyond. It's limitless possibility that's out there. Sometimes it's, I mean, I've for this video there's probably 10 times the information that I've not included, that I've either forgotten or moved away from. I could talk forever, so but I'm going to stop there. That's me for now, and I know it's 34 minutes. That's astonishing. It's a good job I'm not in Sedona. Anyway, love you all. I think you're amazing. Never forget how incredible you are as a human being. You're a miracle from the moment you're born into this planet to as an angel come down through a pillar of light and embody into physical biology, and then come into this noisy, hectic, astonishing place, you're already amazing just for doing that. So never put yourself down. Yeah, that'll be it. Checking out. Goodbye.